Hello children, today we're going to talk about a very important part of the calendar of the church and also a very significant incident or experience that lowly shepherds faced. You know what that was? It was the birth of Jesus. But we want to start a little bit before Jesus was born. How come Jesus was born in Bethlehem when his parents were actually in Nazareth? You see, there was a Roman emperor called Augustus Caesar. This Augustus Caesar said, I want a census. You know what a census is? Census means I want to count all the people. Why did the king want to count all the people? During that time, the king actually collected taxes, money from each person. So he felt that some of these Jews are not paying the money they should pay. So he wanted to count all the people so that he can get all the money, right? So he said, everybody, you have to go back to the place where you were born. If you were born, your house was in Pasir Ris, you must go back to Pasir Ris. If your house was in Bedok, you go back to Bedok. So Joseph was from the line of King David. He had to go back to Bethlehem. That's the reason why Jesus was born in Bethlehem. You see, Mary and Joseph had to travel very, very far to get to Bethlehem. You know, and during that time, there was no MRT, there was no aircon buses, there was no taxis, no Grab. So how did they travel? They had to walk. And maybe they had a donkey to help to carry some of the food. Because at that time, they can't just stop at a roadside shop to eat. There was no McDonald's. So they had to actually bring food along with them. Can you imagine? Mother Mary was so heavily pregnant with Jesus and she endured this long walk to Bethlehem. And when they got there, you know what happened? There was no hotel. All the rooms were filled because everybody had come back, right, to be counted by Augustus Caesar's rule. And so all the rooms were filled up. Joseph actually went to all the different hotels and knock, knock, knock. Do you have a room for us? And they said, no, we don't. No, we don't. So he had to say, oh no, what are we going to do? Where's our baby going to be born? Thankfully, one of the innkeeper took pity on them and said, I don't have a room in my inn, but I have a manger. You know what a manger was? It was a little room where the animals were kept safe. So the donkeys, the cows, right? They used to sleep in the manger, right? So Joseph went to the manger and so did Mary. She was in the manger too. And that's where Jesus was born. Baby Jesus. He was born in a lowly manger, even though he was the Son of God, together with the cows and together with the donkeys, right? That's where the King and the Saviour was actually born. So children, remember I was telling you about the manger? Why was Jesus born in a manger, right? It's a place where there were stinky animals. The food that the animals ate was kept there. But there was a reason. Jesus came for all of us, especially those who were poor, those who were needy, those who had been neglected by other people. So by having the Son of God be born in a lowly manger, we knew that this king was truly for us. He was not for the rich. He didn't come down for the famous or the popular. He came down for each one of us. The people who make mistakes, the people who are dirty, the people who are a little bit stinky. Jesus came for us, for the young and the old. And do you know what was going on the other side? There were shepherds. So you see, shepherds were looking after their flock of sheep. And you know what happened? When the shepherds were looking after their flock, this is a shepherd. He was also sitting down next to his sheep. Suddenly, they saw an angel come down. And the angel declared, the Son of God is born, the Messiah is here. And the shepherds were like, huh? What happened now? What is going on? I thought it was just a quiet night. And they saw a bright star in the sky. and a choir of angels were singing, bright star in the sky, and a choir of angels were singing. Why to the shepherds? Why not to the king? Told you, right? Jesus came for us, even little shepherd boys, little boys like you and little girls like you. So what were the shepherds going to do? First things first, right? They made sure that their sheep was safe because their job was to look after their sheep. So they made sure the sheep was safe, and after that, they went to pay homage to the King, the Saviour of the world. You know, Jesus is called by so many names. He was called Emmanuel. He was called the Saviour. He was called the Messiah. He was called the Son of God. And he was called the King of the Jews. Which name do you call Jesus? Whichever name you call him, you know that he has a special place in his heart. Imagine a king wanted to be born in a poor, lowly, stinky manger. But he did that for you and for me because he knew that he wanted us to love him and he wanted to show all of us how much he loved us. I hope you will continue to read about Jesus' birth. You can do that in Luke 2, 1 to verse 20. There's so much in this story that really reminds us that he came for you and me. Happy reading!